Chardon, hey, true crime fans. Welcome back to another episode of Chardon, hey, true crime. I'm your host, Dakota. With me, as always, is the lovely Kate.
That's me.
That is her. And tonight we are bringing you Aileen Wuornos Part 3.
Woohoo. Where today we get to talk about my favorite thing to talk about, cops being the fucking worst.
Accurate.
Yes. In the last episode, we were talking about Ty. We found out she's kind of a bad guy. She's not as innocent as we thought.
She is not. She really isn't. And in this episode, we get to talk about how Eileen took what we consider to be self-defense to straight up murder.
Is there 6 or 7 more?
So technically there's 6. However, there is one other person who people believe that could have been a victim of Eileen's, but she never admitted to that one. So we're not entirely sure, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, so let's do it chronologically like we usually do. Who's the next one?
All right, so jumping right in, the next victim is David Andrew Spears.
Sounds like a porn star.
I know, right?
Was he a piece of shit too?
Actually, no. No, he was actually a really good guy from what I can tell.
Was he a porn star?
No, he was a contractor, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was a 43-year-old divorcee who was actually a pretty good person as far as ex-husbands go. He was hardworking, predictable, honest. He was practical, and he was 6'3", so he was described by his friends and family as a gentle giant.
Okay. So like the guy you'd invite from next door for like a barbecue or something.
Yeah, the kind of guy that like if you were walking across a parking lot late at night, you'd ask him to walk across with you.
Mm-hmm. Also, I would just like to say that, like, in terms of how he was described, sounds like a Honda.
Trustworthy, dependable,
practical,
hardworking,
or maybe a Toyota. I don't know.
A Ford from that description.
Yeah.
Ford. Yeah.
Ford sounds about right.
Hardworking, dependable, practical, Ford. Oh my god, that was ridiculous.
Predictable. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Predictability. All right, so this guy, he is the Ford of people. I should feel bad for that, but I kind of don't. I'm actually a little bit thrilled with it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I feel a little bad jumping in with a joke at, not necessarily at his expense, but like joking about him, but we're here for a good time, not a long time, y'all.
Exactly. So he's, yeah, like I said, he's the kind of guy you'd ask to walk to your car after a late shift. And in fact, he actually even gave his ex-wife Dee, a chunk of his monthly paycheck just to keep her and the kids afloat. Like,
so he paid child support?
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously, but like, he wasn't a deadbeat. Is basically what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he sounds like a good guy.
Yeah.
So how'd he get mixed up with Eileen?
So on May 18th, 1990, David called his ex-wife Dee and said that he'd be driving out to see her sometime between 2 and 2:30 the next day. However, the next day he was running a little late and didn't start the drive up to Tampa until after 2. He was driving a cream-colored truck up the highway to his exit.
Woo! Excuse me.
Tight. You good?
Yep, please continue.
So he was driving up the highway to Tampa, cream-colored truck, and at some point he came upon Eileen hitchhiking. Now, he seems like the kind of guy that would be like, there's a lady hitchhiking, I should pick her up. You know?
Yeah, like, just based on what we've already covered, he seems like the kind of guy, like, oh, that's somebody who needs help. I should help.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. However, you good?
Yeah, that was just like a big sneeze, so I'm gonna be a little sniffly for a few minutes, so apologies.
No worries, no worries. So he sees her and he's just like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna pick her up. And Eileen claims that she was asking to get a ride going in the opposite direction, about 75 miles in the opposite direction.
Mm.
Seeing as his ex was already waiting for him and everything, I highly doubt that. And to be perfectly honest, I highly doubt that Eileen even told him where she was going, just from what I know about how Eileen operates.
Yeah, like I would assume that she's like the kind of person, actually, like based on what you said about the family member of yours who like gave her a ride.
Yeah.
She seems like the kind of person who just like gets in a car with somebody and decides where she's going on the way.
Yeah, exactly. So, she probably got in the car with him and they started driving and, whatever. That's pretty much how it just kind of went with Eileen. But anyways, so for whatever reason, David decided to, take Eileen along for a ride. So, he took her along.
Like, and he started going the opposite direction? I thought he was like the super dependable Ford guy.
So there's Ford guy. So we really don't know where exactly the two of them went together. We know where his car was found and we know where his body was found, but we don't know what happened in between Eileen getting in the car and Eileen ditching the body in the car. There's really no way to actually tell. All we can do is listen to Eileen's word at this point, but I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, there's really no way to know with her.
There really isn't. And we will find out a lot more about that in the next episode and later in this episode even. But anyways, all of this is from Eileen's mouth. So we have no idea what's true and what isn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
So what we do know is that David's truck was found abandoned about 10 miles out from Orange Springs. A blonde hair was found in the car. A ripped open Trojan packet was found in the car. But not found in the car were David's personal things, including tools, clothes, and a present that he had bought for Dee.
Oh, he was bringing his ex a present?
Yeah. It was a one-of-a-kind ceramic panther statue.
Okay, so Noodle, but that just immediately made me think of a bit from the Powerpuff Girls where the mayor is getting robbed and he's like, no, not my precious, rare, one-of-a-kind porcelain poodle. Anything but my rare, precious, one-of-a-kind porcelain poodle.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's the thought that counts, though.
Yeah, I get it. Maybe she was a Panther person. Maybe she just really liked the Panthers. I don't know. What?
Well, I was just thinking, like, my high school mascot was a panther, so I was just like, yeah, Panther Pride.
Panther Pride. Oh my god.
That's literally what we would say every week, every day of my life. That was 3 years of my life. Panther Pride.
Oof. Anyway, so on June 1st, a man found David's body in an illegal dumping ground off of the 19. He ran to the closest payphone, because remember, this is 1990.
Oh, what?
What? Yeah. A payphone. It's a phone where you put money into it and make calls, but that's not important right now. If I can make an airplane joke, I'm going to make an airplane joke.
It is never a bad time to make an airplane joke.
Literally never.
There are so many situations.
Yep. So anyway, he called 911, and at first, because of the state of the body, the police couldn't even determine David's gender, let alone his age or cause of death, because the body was so badly decomposed. You got to remember, this is Florida. It's May in Florida. It's humid and hot AF. There's probably bugs ate him and like other Florida wildlife ate him. Not to mention the fact that David, 6'3", 195 pounds usually, right? When they found his body, it weighed 40 pounds. Yeah.
Boy, he got munched on.
Yep.
Florida took one look and was just like, consume.
Yeah, exactly. Florida was just like, we're going to eat that.
Just, ooh, you looking like a snack, sir.
An entire buffet.
Truly.
Yeah.
Oh, that is. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It went down wrong.
Oh, you okay?
I'm trying to keep myself from coughing.
You got this.
All right, I'm good.
All right.
If I choke to death in like a minute, that's why. Anyway, so they ended up pulling out 6 .22 bullets from his remains. Now, I actually got my hands on a 22 bullet today. I just want to show this to the audience for those of you that are listening and not watching. A 22 is very thin. It's about as thin as a chopstick.
Okay, yeah, that looks accurate.
I mean, it's thinner than a pencil.
Yeah, so about a chopstick. Yeah, that's
about a chopstick, like a Panda Express chopstick.
I don't know why the specification of Panda Express is so funny to me, but it is.
Different places use different size chopsticks, Kate. Panda uses the cheap ones that are like super thin. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, it's like this. It's like, you know, the width of a Panda Express chopstick. But anyway, so yeah, they ended up pulling 6 .22 bullets out of his body. 6.
That's so many.
That's overkill, basically.
Yeah, seriously, like. Just why is she so angry? I mean, like, we know why she's so angry, but like, what the fuck happened here, man?
I feel like she was probably triggered by something.
Ugh. And how long was it before her next murder?
So the next body was found 5 days later.
Eileen!
Yeah. Now, the next body was that of Charles Chuck Carsgotten. Chuck was a former rodeo rider and was on his way down to Tampa to pick up his fiancée to bring her back to Missouri, where he had found a good job and was having a good life. He just needed to go pick up Peggy, and then his life would be perfect. Now, the really crappy thing about his story, and creepy too, is that he picked up Eileen less than 5 miles from where David's car was found.
Oy.
So it is perfectly reasonable to believe that Eileen ditched David's car and immediately got a ride from Chuck.
Eileen, no!
Eileen, yes. So Chuck's driving this rad caddy that he'd restored and was traveling with a gun that didn't have a firing pin, meaning it wouldn't fire at all. Now, I have another visual aid with me today. This is actually, I have a gun that has a firing pin, so I can show exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't like to see guns, I would recommend not watching this part, I guess. But this right here is the firing pin. Now, if you lift this up, you can pull it out with a pair of pliers, and that would make it so that it wouldn't be able to fire. This part right here hits a bullet right in that little circle, and that's what makes the bullet come out of the gun.
Why? Why would you make it so your gun can't shoot? Like, do you just want like why? It's just decorative at that point.
Yeah, I think that at that point he didn't want to shoot anybody. His mom actually said that he was like scared of guns, but he had it basically as like threatening, like so if like somebody was giving him a hard time, he could be like, I have a gun, and they're just like, oh
Yeah, and you can tell a fake gun from a real one.
no. Most of the time.
Most of the time. Unless you're a cop, apparently.
Yeah, well, if you're a cop, a pack of Skittles looks like a gun. So, funny story, the gun in my room right now actually is a cop gun from the 20s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is from 1923. It's a Colt. So right here it says Colt. You see that?
Oh, yeah, I see it. Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a little horse etching right there. That's a Colt.
I couldn't see that, but I believe you.
Kind of blurry. Hang on. It wants to focus on my face, not on the gun. Sorry. I'll send you a picture later.
You gotta do like the makeup artist thing, like hold it up with your hand behind it.
Oh, is that what I have? I'll just send you a picture later. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, so anyway, yeah, so the gun was bought in like 1923 by a cop and was used for 30 years while the guy was on the force.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's my dad's gun, and he bought it at a gun show. And then if you send in the serial number to Colt, they will tell you the history of your gun, basically.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. It's really interesting. I was telling him, I was like, oh, you got it at a gun show. That's literally what the Columbine shooters did. He was just like, yup. Not that I'm comparing it or anything. It's just a fact that I know.
It's just a fact to bring up. Like, oh, you did that? So did these guys.
Yeah, like if I ever met anyone that was like, I bought a gun in San Diego, I'd be like, so did the Menendai. Ugh. Anyway, so
Menendez just doesn't sound right.
The Menendai. That's their name forever now.
Yep.
At least on this show. So anyways, so now Chuck picks up Eileen and she gives him the normal spiel. She wants to make some money. They can have some fun. And according to Eileen, he agreed. Now, I'm not 100% sure that I believe that he or David were Johns of hers, but that's just my belief personally.
Okay. Yeah, especially the first guy,
yeah,
I highly doubt it.
No, I feel like these guys were giving a lady a ride. She was like, oh, pull over here, and oh, drive down this way, and oh, let's go like over here. And then they did it, and then she was just like, you should fuck me for money. And they probably rejected her, and she freaked out and shot them because she'd been rejected so much in her life.
Yeah, that sounds probably accurate.
That's what I personally believe. I don't believe that these were all Johns of hers. And the fact that the court made it out to seem that they were all Johns of hers, it's interesting. I mean, she definitely robbed them after the fact, but I don't think that these guys were all willingly having sex with Eileen.
Yeah, that the ripped open Trojan packet, that could have been hers that she had on her.
Mm-hmm.
And she tried to get something to happen, and then he said no, so she got upsetty spaghetti and killed him.
Yeah, probably. And I mean, the ripped open Trojan packet, she often carried around Trojan packs.
Exactly.
She was a hooker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sex worker shaming here. I'm just saying she carried that shit around with her, as part of her job.
Yeah, exactly. We're not saying anything about sex workers in regards to connecting it to murder or anything like that. Just that's what she did, She usually had those with her. It is incredibly likely that that was hers and not the guy's.
Yeah. Oops. My hair's pissing me off.
Simply shave your head.
I've thought about it.
Me too.
Scarlett would kill me. Anyways, so yeah, they found his body, Chuck's body, with 9 shots in him, meaning
Oof.
Lee would have had to reload and continue shooting, which really calls into question her defense of self-defense.
Yeah, like, even I, who has minimal knowledge of guns, even I was just like, yeah, she had to reload. Like,
So
that's not self-defense at that point.
okay, here we go. So this holds 6 bullets. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Eileen's was a 6 shooter as well. So she would have had to reload.
Yeah, that's up there with, he ran into my knife. He ran into my knife 10 times.
Pretty much. Anyways, so in her words, Eileen found the Colt 45 and was convinced that he was going to try and kill her. It didn't have a fucking firing pin.
Oy.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. And listen, no, like Eileen was like convinced that she kind of changed it up between he tried to kill her or he was going to try to kill her.
I thought he was gonna kill me, so I shot him back first.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I mean, I will say this in her defense, minimally in her defense. If I was in a car with a stranger and I saw that they had a gun on them, I too would immediately fear for my life, but not to that extent.
I mean, this is like the same as when this is like exactly the same thing as when she was in that convenience store and she had a gun in her purse and she put her purse on the counter and the person at the counter saw the handle of the gun and started screaming, "You're gonna rob me! You're gonna rob me!" So Eileen robbed her. It's the exact same thing, only she's doing it to someone else this time. It's not someone doing it to her. It's her being like, "You're going to kill me." And him being like, "What? No." She's like, "You're going to kill me. You're going to kill me." Pow, 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 pow.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what happened. That was a real, like, accurate reenactment of what happened.
Yeah. That's literally what happened is Eileen going, "Is that a gun?"
Yeah.
"You're gonna kill me."
What? I don't. Why would I? It doesn't.
You're gonna shoot me, aren't you?
Oh my God.
What?
You're gonna jump on me. You're gonna jump on me and squash me like a bug.
Oh my God. You want to explain that one?
Oh, that's a producer's reference.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. You got Leo Bloom, who is hysterical because he had his blue blanket taken away and then he's like passed out on the floor. So Nathan Lane is standing over Leo Bloom. I don't know why I said Nathan Lane instead of Max Bialystock. It is Nathan Lane, but he like comes to and he's standing over Leo and he's just freaking out. He's like, "You're gonna jump on me!" And Max is just like, "What?" Just, why would I jump on you? I'm not gonna jump on you. Get a hold of yourself.
It's basically Eileen and Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in pain and I'm wet and I'm still hysterical.
That's literally Eileen.
Yeah.
That is literally Eileen. So anyways, yeah. So In typical Eileen fashion, she took the car and all of the items she'd be able to give away or sell, and she sold or gave items to Ty, dumped the car 45 miles away from the body was found, and that was the end of that guy.
See, that's like the smartest move, like, that she's had so far. She left it so far away from the body. Every other one, it's been like 5 miles away. Just like, come on, little further.
Kate, come on, joke from last week.
Yeah, you know I'm itching to say it. Come on, Eileen.
I know.
Thank you for teeing it up for me. I appreciate it.
What?
Thank you for teeing it up for me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So you want to get on to the next one?
Yeah, who's next?
Next is Peter Sims. And you want to hear something interesting about Peter Sims?
Sure.
He was a Christian missionary.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yep. It's really interesting that Eileen claims that he was one who, again, tried to hurt her.
I mean, I'm not gonna doubt her just because this man was supposedly a man of the church. Okay.
All right. That's accurate. I will give you that. Absolutely 100%. However, let's talk about Peter Sims. He was deeply religious, an easygoing guy, and considered a real gentleman in every respect. He was 65 years old. He was retired and lived in on the east coast of Florida. And he, on the same day that Carsgotten's car was found, Peter, packed up his car, his luggage, and a stack of Bibles, in his 1988 silver gray Pontiac Sunbird. He was going on another one of his trips to spread the word, because that's what he did.
Ugh. I mean, look, I know that evangelicalism is a large part of, like, being a person of God. Like,
but it's
literally
also had part of colonizing, just saying.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was leading into.
He's literally a colonizer.
Yeah, like, I literally had an entire semester in high school that was, so the first semester was world religions, and then the second semester was evangelicalism. So basically, how to sell your religion to people of other faiths.
So how to be a colonizer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that was kind of like the whole point that I was leading up to. Like, if people are sitting there minding their own goddamn business, just let them mind their own goddamn business.
It's like that missionary that got killed on that island. Yeah,
that island that did not welcome guests or outsiders in any way, and
it's illegal to go to.
Yeah. And he went there and then had to deal with consequences for his actions, and that consequence happened to be death.
Yeah, it happened to be.
I don't feel bad for that guy.
No, me neither. Fuck that guy. Yeah, I said it.
Just leave people alone.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody is truly lost and looking for guidance, let them come to you. You don't have to go chucking Bibles at people from the trunk of your car, because I just am convincing myself that that's what he did, because that's funny.
That is actually really funny, yeah.
Like, you don't have to go around doing that. Like, I feel like Elder Cunningham really summed it up. Hello, would you like to change religions? I have a free book written by Jesus. Like, that's how it feels.
Yep, pretty much.
That's how it feels.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sorry, I just heard like a weird noise outside my door.
You good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
It just sounded like someone yelling for a second, but it was like a video.
Oh. Alrighty. So anyways, can I get back to this though? This guy is a victim.
Yes, please go back to it. I just had to get that little bit in.
That colonizing bit out. Yeah, no. As a Native American, I know exactly what you're talking about. Honestly, I think with the darker hair, it actually makes me look more Native.
In this lighting, you still look pretty white passing, but I'm sure in person it makes a difference.
Yeah. I also don't leave the house in daylight hours, so there's that. Anyways, yeah.
Fun fact, you guys, she's actually a vampire.
How dare you out me like this in public?
It's so she can be with her husband, Nandor.
Yeah. Somebody send me to Staten Island quick. Send me to Staten Island stat.
She just wants to be with her favorite fucking guy.
Oh, fucking guy. I cannot wait for season 3. I am so excited.
Okay, we're off track. Let's get back to it. The colonizer. The colonizer.
The colonizer. So he decides that he's gonna go up to Arkansas and then drive to New Jersey to see his sister. And he promised his wife that he would call her later, and got on the road and never was heard from again by anyone in his family. So the most direct route would be for him to get on the Florida Turnpike and then cut up through the center of the state, and then get onto the I-75, which is Eileen's highway. Yeah.
What if there was like a section of the highway that they like named after her? How fucking fucked up would that be? But that also hilarious.
So fucked up, but also definitely hilarious. Someday I'm gonna get to Florida and I'm gonna get to that part of the highway and just be like, "This is Eileen's highway." I plan on visiting all of these places that we talk about.
Oh, you remember how we couldn't get to that health clinic because they hate us?
That was just homophobia at its finest.
Yep, truly blatant homophobia.
Blatant homophobia.
It was a hate crime.
It was a hate crime, indeed. Anyways, so after her arrest, Eileen admitted that she was really drunk when Peter Sims stopped and saw her on the 75, and she claimed it was the 95. It was the 75. That's how drunk she was. She didn't even know what fucking highway she was thumbing on the side of. She also said that she remembered crossing a state line in the car, but couldn't remember if it was Georgia or South Carolina. It was Georgia. Now, she claimed that he became threatening during a sexual encounter in the woods, so she shot him. His body has never actually been found. Yeah. But she admits that she did it.
Le gasp.
Indeed. Yeah.
Interesting. What if he just ran away?
He just ran away into the woods and then nobody ever saw him again.
Typical of a man. They get threatened once and then they just run off into the woods to die.
He is a victim. We do have to be respectful, Kate. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Like, we can joke about Eileen all we want because she's a fucking idiot. And we can joke about Ty all we want because she's a fucking liar. But we do have to be respectful of the victims.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'll be nicer.
All right. Now, it's actually interesting. So the Sunbird actually, like 10 miles from where Eileen dumped David Spears' truck, went around a bend and crashed into the like guardrail. So Eileen and Ty were driving around in this guy's fucking car. Yeah. And got into a car accident.
Yeah, that sounds like them.
Yeah, and instead of like accepting any help or anything like that, Eileen freaked out, and some neighbors nearby saw what had happened, and they were like, "Hey, are you okay?" And she was just like, "I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I don't even know why you're asking me. I'm fine." And then she's like, "Don't call the cops or anything like that. My dad lives like right down the street, so I'm gonna go see him. He's gonna help me out." And they were like, "Okay." So her and Ty rip off the license plates from the car, yeet them into the woods along with the keys, and then just go running off into the trees like a couple of wild fucking bitches.
I wonder if the Bibles were still in the trunk.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Like, I feel like that would be like a little bit funny if like if somehow like in that car ride like he never mentioned anything about God. Like, unlikely, but if that didn't happen, and then they get into this car wreck, and then suddenly the trunk just like explodes with Bibles. Like, how much would that freak you
like,
out? Just
flying out of the back of the car. Eileen and Ty are just like, "What the fuck?
Just, oh God, we fucked up. We fucked up."
God Angie, God Angie.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that would be really funny.
But we'll never know.
We will never know. Now they abandon the car because that's just what Ty and Eileen do. But this is again proof that Ty knew at least a little bit of what was going on. Because where the fuck did Eileen keep getting all these cars if she didn't know?
Yeah, right.
Ty claims that it was that Eileen would say that she had borrowed cars from friends. How many fucking friends do you have? Number one.
I was literally just thinking that.
Number two, how many fucking friends do you have that would let you borrow their car? Like,
especially knowing Eileen.
Yeah, like to be honest, I would let you drive my car like down the street or something. I don't think I would let you borrow my car for like a week, mostly just because I need it.
Yeah, like if I knew you had other mode of transport, then and only then would I ask to borrow your car for an extended period of time.
Exactly. And if we were in the same city.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously that too.
Yeah. I mean, if we were like next door neighbors or something, and you were like, "I need to borrow your car for like a month," I would be like, about that. No. I love you. You're my best friend, but no. You can use it when I'm not using it, but bitch, that car better be in my fucking driveway with a full tank of gas.
Yeah, exactly. And like, that's just common courtesy. You borrow someone's car, you fill up the tank.
Exactly. Eileen didn't do that. And I highly doubt. No, she wasn't. I mean, they always said that whenever they found the car, there was like no gas. She would basically just drive it until there wasn't any gas, and then she'd be like, "I'm done with it. Bye."
Just, well, time to find another one.
Yep. So eventually the car was found. They found a bunch of, beer and cigarettes and beer koozies and bottles and all kinds of shit. And they found a bunch of, just Ty and Eileen shit in the car. Really.
Ow.
Did your shoulder just pop?
Yeah.
I heard that.
That hurt.
Are you okay?
Yeah, apparently it was necessary, but I was not expecting it.
All right. Well, anyways, let's get to the next victim. The next victim was Eugene Troy Bures. He was 50 years old in January of 1990. He celebrated his 50th. He was short, built, blonde, and was a talker. He was, he's one of those guys that like he could sell ice to an Inuit or something, you know? I'm not going to say Eskimo because that's racist.
Oh, is that like a saying?
Sell ice to an Eskimo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard that.
You've never heard? Oh, yeah. But I changed it to Inuit because that's not terrible.
Not racist.
Indeed. Anyways, so all right. So Troy owned a pool cleaning business, or he had owned a pool cleaning business, and eventually he, it went bust, and he got a new job, and he was driving to work. He was driving his route when he ran into Aileen Wuornos. Yeah.
With his car.
I wish. That would have been hilarious. Yeah. Now, it has been stated that his work manager was very concerned because he failed to report to his office after work. He had been making his drop on the last delivery of the day off of State Route 17.
17?
Mm-hmm.
That's not Eileen's stomping grounds.
It is when you think about the fact that that is not far from where she had that crash with the other car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If he had broken down, he would have called AAA or he would have called his boss. So his boss like trips out and she's just like, what the hell? Where is he? And at 2 a.m. the next day, his wife reported him missing, and the police recorded her description of a slightly built man at about 5'6", so far the shortest person that Eileen has killed.
Oh, he whittle.
About 155 pounds. And, they start looking for him, and eventually they found the car, and they found it on the 19, 20 miles east of where he was supposed to be. The vehicle was locked and the keys were missing, and so is he. Now, a family out for a picnic found his body 5 days later.
Ew.
I'm going to go ahead and guess that family never went on another fucking picnic again, because why would you?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like, I feel like at the 5-day point, especially in Florida, like that's got to be when it's at its grossest.
Florida in August.
Ugh, that's true too. Ugh.
August 4th in Florida. So like July, August, just think about how disgusting that body must have been.
Oh God, my stomach actually just turned a little bit.
You good?
That's so gross to think about.
Yeah. It's
also,
horrible.
I also just really hate Florida.
Yeah, I get it. Anyways. So, anyway. Sorry, I totally just lost my spot in the notes. So Florida's heat and humidity had actually made the decomp way worse. Gross. However, he was still at least, recognizable. His wife was able to ID him. She had given him the wedding ring that he had been wearing and was still wearing. So that's one thing that Eileen didn't take,
That something valuable like that, and she didn't take it.
Yeah, I know, right? This is like one of the first times that Eileen doesn't take jewelry, and we'll talk about jewelry in a couple, guys. But anyway, so he had been killed with 2 shots from a .22, one to the chest and one to the back. Yeah.
Oof.
So he tried to run. and she shot him in the back. A clipboard with all of the details and receipts for his delivery route was there. But the money that he had accepted from all of that was missing because of fucking course it was, because Eileen is garbage. But anyway, so Eileen would later claim he took me to the woods and told me to strip. He then gave me $10 and said, "That's all you're worth." And she claimed that he sexually assaulted her. So she shot him in the chest, and as he turned away to escape, she shot him in the back. So she straight up admits that she shot him in the back. I still don't, I personally do not believe that it happened the way that she said.
Yeah, I'm not one to like question women's, like anybody's claims about being sexually assaulted. But I am one to question Eileen.
Yeah. Now, the next guy we're going to talk about is the one that Eileen claims she didn't do, but some people do believe that she did.
Okay.
This guy's name is Curtis Corki Reed. Now,
I know what his phone number was.
What?
1-800-901-1102 Corkies.
Oh my God, that's funny. But anyways, so his name, you know, generally nobody really knows who he is. He tried to kill himself earlier. You know, he had tried to kill himself in the past. He was left by his wife after that happened. Yeah. God, can you fucking imagine? Like, he tried to kill himself, and then his wife was just like, bye.
How Pepper Potts of her.
Oh my God. I have thoughts. Anyway, yeah.
I said what I said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyway, so he had tried to kill himself earlier.
Excuse me.
He had been a senior engineer at Cape Canaveral. He literally worked for NASA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it had been 20 years before that he tried to kill himself. He jumped from 6 stories and survived. You know, he was seriously injured and had to be cared for by his sister and her husband. And when he eventually returned to work, his wife left him and he was, you know, pretty sedentary, but every Sunday without fail, he would go see his mother. Now on Thursday, the 6th of September, he cashed his paycheck and called in to say that he was off for a long weekend to visit his friend Ray, who lived in Cocoa Beach. And then he would go to Orlando and he would have a doctor's appointment, and then he would go see his mother. Corki said bye to his sister, and no one ever saw him again. He left on Thursday. On Sunday evening, his mother called Corki's sister and was like, "Hey, your brother never showed up." And she was just like, "That's fucking weird." Because, I mean, this guy...
But he left, though.
He left, though, like Thursday. Maybe he's just hanging out with Ray. They're just being guys being dudes.
Couple of guys being gay.
Yeah. Who knows?
Show me your dick, Steve.
So anyway, now at first, you know, everybody was just sort of like, maybe, you know, he's just hanging out with Ray, whatever. They weren't super concerned. But Monday, his sister Deanie got a call from the secretary at NASA saying that he had not turned up for work. So Deanie, his sister, went to his home. His clothes and his NASA badge were there, but his car and he were gone. They tried to file a missing persons report, and the police said they had to wait 72 hours before filing a missing persons report. So the family decided, fuck you, and printed out like 2,000 flyers, and were putting them everywhere trying to find her brother. Yeah.
Proactive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, great. Like, seriously, it would have just taken him 15 minutes to get to Cocoa Beach. And then from Cocoa Beach, like, it was 25 miles to Orlando. So, on Tuesday, the 11th of September, Corki's white car was found in a parking lot near the I-95. I-95. That's Eileen Highway. So Deanie and her daughter immediately drove to the car, expecting to find the police at the scene, but there was just a security guard from the parking lot. And he said that he was concerned because it had been there for a few days. And he called the police, who in turn called Deanie. That's all they did. No one ever really investigated Corki's disappearance. And even getting the police to ask Eileen about the disappearance was like pulling teeth. And literally, her quote when they asked her about him was, "Corky Reed, what the fuck are you talking about?" And they accepted that. They accepted her word that she had no idea who he was.
I've said it once. I will say it every day for the rest of my life. Why do the cops suck?
Agreed. So.
It is a rhetorical question, just
agreed.
So everyone knows. I don't need an answer.
No. Literally, the cops would never ask Eileen about this, even though it was found in her area. The glove compartment had been emptied out. The toolbox was missing. The driver's seat had been pulled all the way forward. Who's that sound like?
Our whittle bitty murderer.
Yeah, our teeny tiny murderer. There was Trojan condoms, empty cartons of Marlboro and Camel cigarettes, and there were bottles of Bud in the back seat. Yeah. So when they tried to get the sheriff's department to know, to find out, like, if they were going to talk to her, Eileen, about Corki at all, the sheriff's department refused to call her back. So she finally had to call the attorney general and be like, "Hi, the fuck?" And then finally, who was it? The principal investigator called her back, and she was like, "Huh, are you only calling me because I called the attorney general?" And he straight up said yes. He was like, "Yeah, that's literally why I'm calling you, because you called the attorney general."
Consider fucking off, good sir.
Yeah, exactly. They were fucking assholes. They even like made a petition. The family did this petition so that they would ask Aileen Wuornos about the disappearance and death of Corki. And the police department and the prosecution was all like, basically wasn't going to let their investigator, who was looking into the disappearance of Corki, like, talk to her. They were like, unless you pull the petition, then we're not going to even let him get anywhere near asking a question to Eileen about Corki. So they finally had to pull the petition. And literally, Eileen's response was, "Corki Reed, what the fuck are you talking about?" That was the only question they asked. Just, "Oh, hey, by the way, yeah, you see this picture of this guy? Did you..." Wait, that's not a guy. Hang on. Really fast. I'm just going to get a picture of him real quick.
Okay. See, now I've got the Corki's jingle stuck in my head, and it's my own damn fault.
Yep. All right. So literally, they were just like, "Hey, Eileen." Lee.
What?
So, you know, you've been talking to us about all these guys that you killed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you recognize this guy?
I have never seen a man.
But all the people that you killed were men.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay. Have you seen this woman?
No.
Did you kill her?
I can't kill who I haven't seen. What the fuck?
Okay, that's fair. Did this person pick you up and did you take their car?
No.
Did you drive a white car with 2 doors and pull the seat all the way to the front and it had a NASA sticker on the back and you left a bunch of cigarettes and beer and took all of the stuff out of the glove box and everything? Did that happen? Do you remember
Bitch,
that?
maybe. I don't know.
Okay, well, that car belonged to this guy. Did he give you a ride?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, we tried.
And that was it.
Basically.
I have never seen a man.
I threw my picture. You like my artist rendition of Corki as someone who has never seen him before?
Truly, yeah, that was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. No, so yeah. They wouldn't cooperate at all. So let's bring it on to the next guy.
Is this 5 or 6 we're doing now?
I
feel like we're on 5.
Maybe. Hang on. Hang on. Let me count. All right. So maybe. So first was oh my God, Richard Mallory. And then it was David Spears. All right, so Richard Mallory, David Spears, Chuck, Peter Sims,
and then Corki.
No, Troy.
Oh, I forgot about Troy.
Yeah, Troy. Possibly Corki, though Corki's not confirmed. So we have 2 more to cover that are for sure Eileen.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there's 7 confirmed cases that Eileen did actually kill. And then the one that maybe, who knows, but I'm fairly certain that it was Eileen personally, but that's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, so the next one is sorry, before I keep going though, can I also point out another reason that me and other people truly believe that Eileen killed Corki? Yeah,
of course.
So so shortly before Lee's trial for Richard Mallory, Deanie and Jim were asked to look at some of the property which was held at the sheriff's department, but that had been confiscated from Ty. Yeah. And his suitcase was there, along with his members only jacket and sweatshirts that he liked to wear. But Deanie couldn't prove that they were his, and there were no identifying marks. But because she couldn't prove that they belonged to her brother, the police were just sort of like, well, you can't prove it, so whatever. Yeah.
If my laptop wasn't on this, I would be slamming my head on the desk right now. I am tired.
Yeah. You can thank Bruce Munster for that.
How dare he soil the Munster name?
The lead investigator.
A disappointment to the Munster clan.
Herman Munster would be appalled.
Herman Munster would never, okay?
Never. So anyways, so, you know, Ty has quite a lot of men's items that she's gotten from Lee. Oh, and speaking of Munster, by the way, I would like to point out that Bruce Munster and two of his colleagues were in the middle of negotiating movie deals with studios for about $100,000 each. But we'll talk about that more in the next episode. So anyways, so let's go on to Charles Dick Humphreys. So Charlie,
Chuck Dick.
What?
Chuck Dick.
Chuck Dick. Chuck Dick lived along the U.S. Route 19. He had just finished his last day of work in the Sumterville office of the Florida Department of Health and Rehabilitation Services. And Sumterville was right in the center of Lee's territory.
Whew, excuse me.
He went and this is actually interesting about him. He had actually served as a police chief in Alabama previously.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So he was an investigator who specialized in protecting abused and injured children. He is the exact kind of person that Lee could have used at an earlier point in her life.
No kidding. God.
Like, honestly, if she had been born and raised in that area of Alabama, that guy probably would have been one of the few people to not completely fuck her over. Unfortunately, Lee is going to completely fuck him over.
Oh, what a tragic turn of events.
Indeed. So, on the day that Corki's car was found abandoned near Orlando, Humphreys disappeared after picking up a hitchhiker or hitchhikers.
Oh, was Ty with her?
We don't know for sure, but she could have been.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. He was shot 7 times, and his body was found really close to where both David Spears and Chuck's cars were found. Now, Charles had been shot, like I said, 7 times. 6 of the bullets were recovered from his body, but the 7th passed through his wrist and was never found. And his money and wallet were missing, and his pants pockets had been turned inside out. I kind of wonder if this was a little bit more of like the Thai influence personally. Because this doesn't sound like Eileen for the most part at this point. You know, Eileen.
You don't think so?
Eileen would strip him.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Now his car was found 70 miles away from where the body was, and it was found on the 19th of September. It had been backed into a space in a service station. It was about 15 miles south of the state line to Georgia. Yeah. The killer left 1 can of Budweiser under the passenger seat, and the police never dusted the can for fingerprints.
Why would? Oh my God.
I know, dude, right? Keep in mind, Kate, this is 1990. Fingerprints are a thing. Fingerprints are a thing then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This isn't like the 70s where it's just sort of like, who cares? This is the fucking 90s.
Oh.
Most of his stuff were all covered in blood. And Lee would claim later that she heard him gurgling like before with Richard Mallory. But this time she took pity on him and shot him in the head to put him out of his misery. Yeah, and all of his stuff ended up being found in a wooded field about 18 miles from where his body was found, and all of his stuff was given to his wife. Now, yeah. Now, Ty.
I need to smack my head with something, but I have nothing that's conveniently within arm's reach.
There's books like by your feet, dude.
Yeah, but all the ones that I can access are too heavy and I'll like actually hurt myself.
Use a pillow?
I'll just smack my head on the desk later.
Scream into a pillow. That'll help.
Where's my like good fluffy pillow?
My eyelid itchy. Kate Angie.
Okay, I feel a little better.
You should keep that close because you're going to need it again.
Oh boy.
Just trust me on that. You're going to need it again. So anyways, Charles Humphrey stopped to give a blonde woman a ride. Now, at this point, we are pretty sure that there are two women at the store that he had stopped at and ended up giving the woman a ride from. A blonde-haired woman and a woman with a little bit darker hair. And the women, we know from the store clerk's description, looked like
Christina
Eileen and
Ricci.
Ty. What?
Christina Ricci.
Nope. The women looked like Eileen and Ty. Yeah.
That's just a coincidence, obviously.
Oh, obviously.
That doesn't mean anything.
Ty has always said that she had nothing to do with it. And I honestly believe that is why she never emailed me back or messaged me back or returned any of my attempts to communicate with her.
Well, you know what? Like I said before, the point is you tried.
I tried. It didn't work, but I tried. But anyways, so Ty describes it as she came home with an older pickup truck, David Spears' vehicle, and she said that it was, a friend's, and then she came home a day or two later with an older car, the Cadillac, and the next car she came home with was a Pontiac Sunbird. Yeah.
Yeah, Ty totally didn't know what was going on.
Oh, God, no. No. Mm-mm. So, yeah. Oh, God, these fucking women. I swear to God, Ty is, she's a fucking liar. She is a fucking liar. But let's get to the last guy. We're going to talk a lot more about Ty and Eileen in the next episode because there is a lot more to be said for their relationship and how fucked up Ty actually was.
Yeah, we kind of I feel like we kind of figured that out last week too. Just like,
Yeah.
Oh, hey, wait a second.
Oh, I kind of knew that she was bad, but I didn't, it's actually taking talking to another person about it for me to be like, hey, wait.
Yeah.
I knew that she wasn't good. And every time I've read this book, because I've read it at least 3 times now. For the record, the book is Monster. That's where we're getting most of our information for this episode or this series from. It is an incredibly well-written book. It is taken from, people who grew up with Eileen. It is taken from Eileen herself's words. It is taken from, court transcripts. This is a very well-written book, in my opinion. And if you're interested in reading it, it's Monster by Christopher Barry D. Is that his name?
So it's super thorough and in depth.
Yeah, it's very thorough.
Not a whole lot of speculation.
Yeah, Christopher Barry D. That's his name. God, I'm impressed with myself for that one, actually.
God, that is a British guy, isn't it?
Oh, so British. So British. All right, so the last guy, he was murdered November 17th, 1990. His name was Walter Gino Antonio. Walter and Gino Antonio.
The Walter really is not fitting with the rest of the name.
What should his name be? Mario Antino.
Something like that. Like
Mario
sheesh.
Gino Antonio.
Or just Gino Antonio. Like, damn.
That's a pretty Italian. Anyway, so at this point, the law enforcement is starting to think, hey, maybe this is like actually like a serial killer.
What? Whoa. There's similar clues among all of these murders that might link them together to be the same person? You're just picking up on that after 6?
Bob.
Hey, Billy, what's up?
So, Bob, listen, I'm down in Florida. I'm doing some work down here right now, right?
Yeah. How's the weather?
Oh, it's hot as fuck, Bob. I mean, it's like my balls have never been so sweaty in my life.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's like an everyday sauna, huh?
Oh yeah. No, my pants are a sauna like every day. Anyways, so I'm doing some work down here, and have you been hearing about all these murders that I've been telling you about? You remember I've been telling you about these murders down here, and the ones where the cars get found and then some guy's body gets found a little while, later and like kind of far away and everything. You know, the one that I've been telling you about?
Yeah, and they're like all happening along like the same area too. Like they're disappearing from the same freeway.
Yup. What if it's a serial killer, Bob? I know.
Wait.
I know.
Wait.
I know.
Billy, wait. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Has anyone thought of that before?
I don't know, Bob.
Whoa. Billy, you might be onto something here.
What? Because listen to this, though. All of the car seats were pulled up real close to the steering wheel, and the cars all smelled like cigarettes, and there were beer bottles in the car. And get this, they were all Budweiser.
Well, I mean, that could still be just a coincidence. Maybe that's all the beer they have down there in Florida, you know?
No, there's at least 7 kinds of beer down here.
Oh, shit.
God, at least that. You know how the store back home, there's regular and dark?
Yeah.
They got IPAs down here.
I don't even know what that means.
I know, it's disgusting, but they got it.
Whoa. Florida's really ahead of the game.
Oh, there's so much beer down here. And get this, they have a thing called spring break, right? And that's where all the kids from the colleges, they go on the beach and they get really drunk on different types of beer and they go crazy.
I mean, we have spring break too, but it's usually the kids going somewhere else, like Florida.
Yeah. Do you think the kids are coming down here and getting crazy? Oh my God, I let Darlene come down here.
Oh my God, what if one of our kids is the serial killer, Billy?
Oh my God, Bob. Don't be crazy. Nobody from the Midwest could ever do something like this.
You know what?
What?
You got a point there. You're right.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, what if it's a serial killer, though?
You know, you really might have something there. I think you should tell people. You should bring it up because I bet no one's thought of that yet.
No, I'll talk to them. All right, it was good to talk to you. Say hi to the family. I love you.
All right, love you too. Bye.
Right, bye. I missed Billy and Bob.
We haven't done a Billy and Bob in a minute.
Yeah. We're going to put Billy and Bob on our t-shirts. It's going to happen.
We should definitely do that.
Yeah. Are you a Billy or are you a Bob? I'm going to make a quiz online. That's what it's going to be. Are you a Billy or a Bob?
Tag yourself, Billy or Bob. Love you, bye.
Yeah. Who am I? I'm Bob, right?
No, you're Billy. I'm Bob.
I'm Billy.
You
You're
always
Bob.
say Bob.
Yeah. I always say Bob. All right. So anyway, let's
We
get
got
back
off
to
track
Walter.
there.
Let's get back to Walter. So anyways, sorry. I lost my spot again on my notes.
We got too into Billy and Bob.
They do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we go. So at this point, you know, the press, the police are looking for not just Eileen, they're looking for Ty and Eileen.
Okay.
Wonder why. They have their descriptions.
Look at them starting to figure it out a little.
They have their descriptions from when they crashed the car. They have their descriptions from the gas station employee who saw them get into a car with one of the victims. They are starting to like get their shit together finally after a year. And yeah, you know what? I will get, listen. How many fucking years did it take them to catch Henry Lee Lucas? How many fucking years did it take them to catch Gary Ridgway?
I feel like you like die a little bit every time you have to refer to him.
I do, and what's even worse is because I have lost those recordings, we have to redo those episodes. Yeah. So for people who are not familiar about why I hate Gary Ridgway, keep an eye out because you're going to find out one of these days.
She will talk about it for a while.
Oh yeah, I'm going to have a fucking conniption.
That's fine.
Anyway, so this one guy picks up Eileen. He's a truck driver. He's driving home. He picks her up and he's just like, oh, you need a ride. So he gives her a ride, and he had, you know, a good chunk of money. And at one point, Lee soon made her usual proposition, offering him the best head of his life. Now, at this point, I would like to mention Aileen Wuornos is not exactly the most attractive woman anymore. It has been a very long, very hard life. She has basically just, you know, she's lived rough and hard her entire life. And she's not exactly the pretty fit little girl that she used to be. You know what I mean?
No, not so much. It's
Not so
amazing
much.
it's amazing what trauma and heavy alcohol and drug use will do to your body.
Indeed. In fact, I'm going to share a picture of Eileen right now. For those of you who are listening and not watching, feel free to Google her. But Kate, that is basically what Eileen looks like at this point.
Oh, honey.
I'm going to give you the best head of your life.
But like, you can see that like she used to be pretty.
Oh yeah. She's one of those people that like, she definitely used to be pretty, but like, oof, honey.
Ugh.
Honey. Yeah.
And like, I don't want to like, we're not sitting here and like judging people based on their appearance.
She looks rough is what we're saying. She looks rough.
She doesn't look like the kind of person who, like, if she said that to you, you'd be like, oh, you know, yeah, maybe. Like,
no, if she said that to you, you'd be like, dude, you're gonna bite my dick off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So she offers him $100, or she offers him the best blowjob of his life for $100. So she's upping her prices right now, you know?
Honey.
Because it used to be $30 for head.
Yeah, like she is, like, I understand inflation and everything.
It's been less than a year.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's been a year.
Not even. Like, come on, Lee. inflation doesn't work that fast, hon. So she offers him $100 for the best blowjob of his life, and he said no because he was a happily married man. She offered it to him twice more and insisted that he stop in an orange grove so that she could give him head for $100 or do whatever the fuck she wanted for $100.
Why an orange grove? Yeah, it's Florida.
Yeah, exactly. Florida and California are where they grow the majority of the sun-kissed oranges. So, there's that. So anyways, he was not dumb, and he stopped the truck at a payphone after telling Lee that he would drive her all the way to Daytona Beach and gave her $5 to call her sister. As soon as she climbed out of the car, he slammed the door closed and locked it. And Lee flipped it out. And in this guy's words, he said, "What I saw was a woman in total frustration, mad as hell." And Eileen shouted after him as he drove away, "Copus, I'll get you, you son of a bitch. I'll kill you like I did the other old fat sons of bitches." Which just gives a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? It lends
insight.
It lends weight to my theory that Eileen didn't kill the other men in self-defense. That's what I'm getting at. So now, after that, Eileen gets picked up by Walter Gino Antonio. He was a reserve.
Just really throws me.
I know. He was a reserve police officer, and he was driving to Alabama in search of a job. And he had been recently engaged and wore a gold and silver diamond ring, which had been a gift from his fiancée. Which honestly, I think is adorable that she bought him a ring too.
Yeah,
that's cute.
That is. I like that.
Let's normalize men getting engagement rings because that's adorable.
Yeah, normalize men getting engagement rings. Girls, propose to guys. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyways, now Walter's route was basically about the same as Peter Sims. He would go up the Florida Turnpike. He'd go up to the 75 and, pull into the Speedway truck stop before a long haul north. Now, on Sunday, November 18th, a police officer out game hunting found a man's body naked except for a pair of socks near the intersection of 19 and the 27, 15 miles south of the area that he was supposed to be driving towards, and also the area that Eileen was basically living in at this point. Yeah.
Totally a coincidence.
He had been shot 4 times, 3 times in the torso and once in the head with a .22 caliber handgun. Now, after the murder, Eileen drove the car back to the motel where she'd been staying and asked the manager if she could park her boyfriend's car behind the building. She said that her boyfriend was married and he didn't want his wife to drive by and find his car parked at the motel. Now, the manager would later say that Lee left the car there for a few days and then moved it, and eventually the car was found on the 24th of November, body found 18th, car found 24th, in a wooded area near the 95, about 20 miles from where he had started his journey. His license plate was missing, his keys were missing, a bumper sticker had been removed, and a piece of paper had been pasted over the VIN number, and the doors were locked. Because, that's going to keep anyone from finding out what the VIN is. It's fine. I locked the doors and I put a piece of paper over the VIN.
So smart.
Ain't nobody gonna find out who that car belonged to. Because they won't be able to get into the car. You see, I used my brain and I locked the car, and nobody gonna get in there because they don't know what I done with the key.
Truly innovative, ahead of her time.
I know. It's fantastic. I know exactly what I'm doing. And I took that fancy pants ring and I gave it to Ty when she come back from her family's house for Thanksgiving.
Did she really do that?
She really did that.
Oh, that's so tacky. I hate that's something I really hate for people to do. Like in any circumstances, like serial killers, like breaking up with your ex, like anything. Like don't give away other people's jewelry. That's fucking weird.
I think there's a slight difference, like, you know, if it's like a grandmother's jewelry or something, you know, and
oh yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
That's different. But like, don't do that.
My mom told me that when she and my dad had been engaged, he gave her an engagement ring. And when they broke up, he asked for it back and she gave it back to him. But she told me one time that she wished that she hadn't, so that she could have kept it and given it to me.
Oh.
I don't know whatever happened to that ring. I'm sure he probably sold it or something. I don't know. But,
yeah, what are you going to do?
Anyway, so guess what was found inside the car? Well, not inside the car, near the car.
Budweiser.
Yep. Bud cans. Uh-huh. So they learned that Antonio was like you, where, you know how whenever you buy gas, you write down your like gas mileage and then how much money you spent or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Antonio did the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Helps you keep track of your mileage, make sure that, you know.
Exactly.
You don't have, like,
exactly. And they were able to tell that in the week since his disappearance, his car had been driven over 1,000 miles. Yeah. His fiance had given the police a list of items that had been in his car, including handcuffs, a reserve deputy badge, a police billy club, a flashlight, a watch, a suitcase, a toolbox, and a ball cap. And all of those items were missing. His personal
club? Is that like a baton?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what they used to call it. Yeah. Also, batons are extendable, and billy clubs were just those like single hard ones, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They weren't extendable. But anyway, so his ID and his clothing were discovered in a wooded area, and the rest of his property has not been found. Now, Eileen would later say that she was out looking for a customer when Antonio pulled up. She asked if he wanted to help her make some money, but apparently, according to her, he pulled out his police badge and threatened to arrest her unless he got a free piece.
Now, I'm not going to say that doesn't happen.
Say what you gotta say.
But come on, Eileen.
Mm-hmm. Come on, Eileen.
Stop being mean.
So, anyway, so now under investigation, she actually was asked how many times she killed or how many times she shot Antonio. Killed Antonio. She killed him once. And Kate and I are gonna recreate that. I'll be Eileen, okay? Because I'm good at that crazy shit. All right, you ready?
Okay.
It's in the notes.
Okay.
It's the official transcript of what actually happened in that room. So they asked, how many times did she shoot Antonio? Twice, I think.
Okay. Now, how did you feel when you thought he was a cop?
So at first, because this one guy, the HRS guy, telling me that he was a cop, I said to myself, that guy was an HRS guy. So this is another faker. He's just trying to get a free piece of ass. That's all I thought. Yeah, it pissed me off.
Well, when you shot him the first time, what did he do?
Well, we were struggling with the gun and everything else again, and he fell to the ground and he started to run away. And I shot him in the back, right in the back.
What did he do then after you shot him in the back?
He kind of looked at me for a second. He said, shit. Oh, what did he say? I think he said, "You cunt," or something like that. And I said, "You bastard." And I shot him again. Do you like my Aileen Wuornos impression?
Indeed, yes.
So in just over a year, Aileen had managed to scatter a trail of middle-aged men across the highways of Central Florida. And that is where we are going to leave tonight's episode. So, Kate, what do you think of Aileen now?
She just... It's just don't do that, maybe. Like,
Don't do that, maybe.
That's really all I gotta say. Like, just stop doing that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yep. So, yeah, Aileen did that.
That's really my whole takeaway. Just like, oh my God, just stop. Just stop.
Agreed. So, yeah, that is Aileen Wuornos part 3. And the next part, we are going to discuss how Aileen got arrested, how Ty was a part of that, how the police were completely fucked up about this whole situation, and we are going to talk about the death of Aileen Wuornos.
All right.
The hands of the state of Florida. So until next time, say goodnight, Kate.
Good night, Kate.
Good night, and I guess don't do that.
Don't do that. Just don't do that.
Don't do it. All right. Good night, everyone. See you next week.